Hi, welcome physics students. In today's lesson, we're going to take a look at how net force can be combined in different situations, talking through what a constant velocity and a uniform acceleration look like for net force, and also take you through a skydiver problem to better understand how forces combine to make a net force in a given situation. Thank you. Before we get to the example today, I want to take you through a couple of very key concepts related to net force. And whenever you are approaching a net force problem, I want you to ask yourself two questions. Is the object uniformly accelerating, or are they maintaining a constant velocity? That will help you determine how to use the net force equation in that case. So if it's uniformly accelerating, we know that a net force causes that acceleration. It's equal to the mass times acceleration, therefore the velocity will be changing. Some clues in the problem: when you're looking at a uniform acceleration, you'll see words like speeding up or slowing to a stop, where the forces are unbalanced. Okay, so to give you kind of an idea what that might look like, you might see where there are forces that are acting on this box. You can tell just looking at it that the normal and the weight force are balanced. However, in the horizontal, the applied force is greater than the frictional force, causing an unbalance. We can write the net force equation then to show that the net force is equal to the applied force minus the frictional force. And that is then all equal to the mass of the object times the acceleration. So we can use this to find acceleration of that object in the x direction. Okay. Similarly, if we take a look at the constant velocity, we know that the net force, all the forces acting in a given direction, have to add up to 0. The object keeps moving at a constant speed, or it is stopped. So we have two cases to look at. Clues when you're looking at a problem might be something like, it might say it's moving at a constant speed in the word. And the other clue is when you draw your free body diagram, the forces are balanced. So notice this has a velocity of 2 meters per second. Its inertia means that it won't need force to keep that and maintain that velocity. So as long as the forces are balanced, the velocity will be constant. It just won't accelerate. It won't change its velocity. The net force equation is very similar. F net equals Fa minus the frictional force in this case, and that's equal to the mass times acceleration. But because when I do the subtraction, like if I had an applied force of 20 newtons and the frictional force of 20 newtons, when I do this equation, it really just ends up being 0. So that means the mass times acceleration is also 0. So overall, there is no net force. All right, a nice thing you can do with this is if you are trying to find out the value of one of the forces because it's equal to 0, we know even if they just give us one of the forces, it has to balance and has to equal the other force. All right, thank you. Our next example is going to take you through some ideas with a parachuter as they are falling and some of the ways we can apply net force to that idea. To help us better understand net force, we're going to take a look at an example of a skydiver. So we're going to look at different parts and the forces that are acting on the skydiver during different paths and parts of the journey. So first we're going to take a look at the start of the jump, and gravity is the only force. So when I draw a free body diagram, I'll notice that the weight force, which is equal to the mass times the gravity, is the only force acting on it. So that's an arrow pointing straight downwards. As we take a look at different parts of the journey, I'm going to think about and add in some new forces. Now, you can kind of already think once they leave that airplane, gravity is always acting on them, so the weight force is never going to change, but there's a new upwards force, and that upwards force is coming from the air resistance pushing back on them. Their velocity is going to increase because at first the only force acting is the force of gravity, and so it's going to cause an acceleration downwards. Speed is going to increase, and as the speed increases, there's going to be a greater resistance force, that air resistance pushing back upwards. So we're going to draw that force in on the free body diagram as well. And as you notice, that force of air resistance changes depending on how fast the skydiver is falling. So at first it's not very large, it's a pretty small force, but then it increases over time. What would happen if those forces eventually are balanced? And so we're going to take a look at a few things like that. When they're not balanced, unbalanced forces cause acceleration. So the weight force is going to win, and then it's going to accelerate. Speed will increase. However, when they're equal, when the air force equals the gravitational force, the acceleration stops. Now, the big thing here is that does not mean the skydiver stops falling. They are going to just maintain their constant velocity. We call that a terminal velocity. That will happen until another imbalance of forces exists. And so as long as the forces are balanced, there's not going to be speeding up any longer. The chute opening, though, would cause another type of force. And so we can think about that. There's the air resistance pushing up, and as you increase the surface area of the parachute, you're also increasing the air resistance. So when that chute opens, the unbalanced force is the fact that the air resistance is greater. Remember, unbalanced forces cause acceleration. So at this point, the skydiver will accelerate again. We have to be really careful, though, about the direction of the acceleration. The direction now is going to be opposite the velocity. The skydiver will still be falling downwards, and the velocity will still be a downward vector, but the acceleration will point opposite and upwards. That because they're opposite, it will cause the velocity to decrease. So over time, it will slow down. Now, in the next phase, the chute is still open, and I'm going to add in the air resistance, but we know that the air resistance, because they are no longer speeding up or slowing down, they're just gliding downwards, they've reached a new equilibrium. So when we have the new equilibrium, we have balanced forces again. The air resistance and the weight force are again balanced. And as you know, a balanced force means no acceleration. So we've reached another constant, or we can say terminal velocity. And that new terminal velocity then will be the velocity the parachuter has until there's another unbalanced force. In this case, they'll have that until they reach the ground. Now, when they reach the ground, their weight force hasn't changed, so that is still a downwards force. But now there's a new upwards force from the ground itself. So when they actually land, they're going to come, and that ground where it's going to push back up on the skydiver, causing them to decelerate very quickly. The net force equation can be represented as the force of the ground minus the weight force, and it will tell us how much net force is acting on the skydiver to cause them to slow down from their velocity all the way down to zero. So that new net force is going to cause a rapid slowing or a rapid deceleration of the skydiver. So hopefully you can get a kind of a picture of how the net forces are combined at different places to cause accelerations when they're unbalanced and maintain velocity when they are a balanced force. Thank you.